So, recently I deleted a video in English. No, it was in German, I think, where I went on a rant because a hotel told me the evening before I had to check out, that I had to check out, which meant that I couldn't prolong my stay because they said they were fully booked. I had booked the night in Booking.com. I arrived at 2:30 and I went out to see if I can wash my clothes in a laundry nearby and rent a bicycle, and when that was done at 6:30 in the evening, I said I want to stay longer, but they preferred to tell me we're fully booked. I complained to the manager via email, and I already had done a video where I angrily responded spontaneously. I think it's more interesting sometimes if you don't have the time to reflect too much. Of course, most of Buddhists will tell you otherwise, but you get more like an original feeling and energy. Well, the management arranged otherwise, and they told the staff to give me a room. Somebody had cancelled. Okay, you could have expected that, and so on and so on. I think it is bad management if you cannot arrange another night for someone who's already in your hotel, because if you're so fully booked, you can wait until the next morning, and you will still be fully booked. No, people will still come if there's some event or so in your city. So now I'm not stopping myself. Also, it is possible that this problem that caused my new boycott idea will be solved, but it's taking too long actually. I gave you a couple of brand names on the subject line of this video because I'm already boycotting some companies, or let's say half boycotting. What I mean is, once I went to a Home Pro and bought a coffee machine, and it stopped working after a couple of days, and I was stupid enough to throw away the package. And then they had a policy, it was written on the wall, that they will not take back anything, even if there's a warranty, if there's not an original package. So I said, come on, that is just within the first week of usage. There must be an exception, and if not, just take the package from the replacement that you will give me, and I will take this one without a package, because they don't have individual codes for those cheaper stuff. No, usually it's just the item code of that special machine. So they refused to do it, and then they said they will repair it instead. And I thought that's not the right thing to do, because I will be without a machine for a couple of weeks. So actually I agreed, but gave the slip away, the receipt to some cleaning woman here in the condo building, and she went there to get the machine and was happy about it. I said I will not step a foot in this store for a long time, indefinitely, and because I think it's also wrong customer service, and how would I reward that? How could I do that? There's an alternative, it's further away, but actually I don't need those stores too much, because if something is wrong in my apartment, which is only rented, they will have technicians to fix it, more or less. Another incident was at a at B2S, at a store that has a lot of different things, from sweets to folders, pencils, and so on, toys. And I bought a a nice office chair, which is orthopedically designed, no? So I don't have pain if I sit there for a long time. My back is not perfect, but this really helps me to sit straight and comfortably, and it moves in different directions. And I spent about 8,000 baht, so about 200 euro for this one. I will probably not buy any expensive item, let's say 4-digit or so in this store. But at least when I complained about the incident, they gave me a coupon. I haven't seen it. I told them to send it to the person I was buying a present for. And I don't know how much this coupon was about, but I got a couple of emails from the staff's manager. I don't even know if she personally was involved in that case, but she said, "I'm so sorry that happened," but they never answered my question, which was, "Is that your policy and will you do it again?" And because they didn't do it, I thought I would do something like a half boycott. So I went there recently to buy some Pentel pencils as a small present for my friends when I returned to Germany, and 1 or 2 for myself because they're really good. And this is anyway not one of the cheaper stores for that stuff, but it has a nice selection and some quality stuff, and I didn't mind that they might have been a bit more expensive than at the competition because the shop is close by. But those are items for 40 baht, accumulated to 200, 300. But I will not buy furniture or expensive stuff there for quite a while, I'm pretty sure, because they haven't handled the problem. What was it? I had a book in my hand that was coated in fur, in rainbow colored fur, kind of artificial fur. It was like a diary, and it should have been a present for a young child I took care of for a couple of years, and it had a huge discount. Okay, but that can happen anytime. And I went with it to the cashier, and then the cashier was shocked to see the price and called the manager, and they said it was priced wrongly and they couldn't give it to me. So my idea about this is, and if I would be a manager of a shop, I pretty much think that would be the correct way to handle it for me. I would say, my mistake, your lucky day, your birthday, whatever, you get it, but actually this was meant to be more expensive. It was only one item like this, so no one else could have made this mistake again, or I could not have gone back and said, okay, then I take 10 of those, because there was just one furry diary. And no, I said I had it in my hand already. I had it in my mind that I get it, that this will be the present, birthday or Christmas present for the girl, and I would never have bought it for the original price, by the way. Some things really overpriced there, to my mind. But okay, then there follows kind of a half boycott. A next thing that I really don't like, I just complained to the staff, and I think about writing an email to management, is that my bank at the ATM, I sometimes take money from other ATM machines, but mine is one of the few that has a limit of 30,000 baht, so you can get 30,000 baht at once. The others are less, like 25 or 20,000, and you always pay the same fee, that is 220 baht. If you would take 1,000 baht, 20,000 or 30,000, it's always 220 each time you take money from the ATM. So of course I prefer to take the 30,000, and usually I have to pay rent or something, so I won't carry around that much for long. But my bank is offering their own exchange rate, which is regularly much worse than the common rate that you get. And then they let you choose and if you make a mistake or you don't really get what they're talking about, you might choose the wrong option and the higher exchange rate, which is totally unnecessary. I don't know if anyone has any advantage from it. So I think it's kind of a foolish trick from which only they can profit. At least that's how I see it. Now I'm a customer there. I have an account there because they were at that time when I didn't have my non-immigrant, my 1-year visa yet. No, they were the only ones to, or one of the few to offer a foreigner a bank account. And if you started to the procedure for your 1 year, they call it a pensioner visa, and also you're not actually a pensioner, but you have to have you need a bank account. So it was kind of a tricky situation, and I took this account from Thai Military Bank. There was another incident before that excluded one of the many other banks, that was Kasikorn, and the incident was that actually I had an account there as a tourist, kind of a different account, but maybe this was the other bank that did it, but that was long before I planned to stay here, mainly in Thailand, and left my apartment in Germany. So that was an account that I only used as a tourist, and once in the morning I had to get money to pay a woman that I stayed with overnight, and I was sitting there before the bank opened, and I was in some Thai but mainly English. I was discussing with her the fee and how I handle it. And there was a bank clerk just arriving in his white shirt and tie, and overhearing my conversation with her, and he was, I think, the first one to step into the bank that morning, and he suddenly said to her she shouldn't believe me. It was about the payment. He clearly said it to her. It must have been simple Thai, so I already understood it because it was so long ago. My Thai was bad. And then when he went in, I let her repeat what he said, and it was true. He told her about someone he couldn't know. He just judged like a racist. No? I'm the foreigner. You can't trust him. Look at him. And I went in. I complained about this, and I took my money out. Not that it was much, no, but I closed that bank account, and that bank is kind of dead for me since then, and it must have been 20 years ago or so. So you see, of course, if you have a selection, there it is easy to boycott. Now the news story, and as I said, what will I do with the Thai Military Bank account? Actually, they piss me off because they still haven't taken that off the ATM machines, that choice. Would you like our other exchange rate, which means we take something out of your pocket unnecessarily? So what happened now is, and that's why I'm saying, do not lend any money, not only privately, because people, also Thai people, told that if they did it for friends or within the family, within the Thai community, you hear a lot of stories that people don't have the right attitude to pay back, to pay their debts. They just try to get away with it. And this extends in some cases to officials, or I won't tell that story, but because it's I can't really prove it in one case, but there is a habit here that you should keep in mind. Even if you have cards, member cards or something, which you can upload, Like I had that 7-Eleven card for many years and I collected points. And why did I do it? Sometimes they had promotions, and when you had the points, you could exchange them for items like maybe uh, plastic dishes with Snoopy motifs or Mickey Mouse items, blankets, pillows, and so on. I got a lot of stuff for the child and her family because I was buying things there anyway. And for a while they said you have to update your card, and update was only possible with a Thai ID card, so I couldn't update it. I asked around, but the women I knew, they had their own 7-Eleven card, so they couldn't update it for me. They collected their own points. So in the end, I had 500 and something baht on it, so it's about maybe 13 euro. And suddenly they said the card is not valid anymore, and I said, okay, then let's pay out the rest of the money on the card, or let me just do one more shopping round or something. And they refused to do it. So I contacted the office. That was more than 6 weeks ago, and they found out in connection with the card number that it was registered by a Thai. I really don't know, because that must have been 15 or 20 years ago too. Now I used to do for a very long time. I remember I got a free umbrella when I registered it, but I had also to pay a fee, but it was cheaper than to buy a very good umbrella. So I thought maybe at that time it was also impossible for a foreigner to register for the card. The name didn't ring a bell. Anyway, I was in the possession of the card, and I said to myself, okay, let's give them some time to debate this and check it out. And I was going on a travel. I came back, nothing had happened. I waited another 2 weeks for them to respond. Then I got an email yesterday. Your new card is at the 7-Eleven. I gave my old card there for them to send in and have it replaced or something else. And there was an idea 6 weeks ago that I might get a card that is just valid for one-time shopping, so that I use up the money, but then I won't have a card anymore. So in the past, I had just given, when I have shopped, I had given the telephone number of a friend, because you can also use the telephone number. But as that card was registered with an old number, that didn't have also. I used the number of a friend, and she collected the points for me. Okay, and I said, well, we can do this in the future so that somebody still earns the points. But I don't want to lose those 500 plus baht. So what happened now is, okay, I got the email, the SMS, you can pick up your card from the 5th on. Today's the 6th. I went there, no card. They contacted them. They only spoke Thai. I understood only half. And even the staff member from that 7-Eleven couldn't explain to me why my card was not there. Also, they had sent me an SMS. So again, I waited 20 minutes for the third time. And this time I had promised the staff here, because I was so tired of all of that I will just use the money. I don't even know what to buy there for 500 baht if it's really a one-day event and I have to spend it in one day. I don't know how the solution will be, but I said, let's do it like this. I will buy all of the staff here a coffee, and then the problem is finished. And I just wrote down all those wishes, the order, no? One coffee, one tea, one soda, dang, red soda, all coming from a machine or so. I don't know. I don't buy that stuff there. Freshly made, and now I had to return, and with nothing in my hands again. And I'm so pissed off. I said, I can also boycott 7-Eleven. Also, this is the most widely spread supermarket, I think. It's everywhere in a city like Pattaya. In my street there are 5, 2 are closed now due to Corona, but you stumble into them more often, even on the countryside. Sometimes you go to smaller cities and you think, wow, where's the 7-Eleven, and you can't find any, but usually they are where the tourists are, and very handy. But there are Tesco and there are Family Mart, and they have not pissed me off like that. And why did I put money on that card to collect the points? And if they take away those 500 baht, I'm a little bit tired. I mean, even if they do something now and they send me the next SMS, I go there to pick it up, I will do it one more time. But imagine it's still not there because somehow they're too stupid to solve this problem. I've lost so much time with this, and sometimes money on the telephone, that I think I might just say the money is gone. The idea of spending it for coffees for the staff is dropped, and I will not use 7-Eleven for an indefinite time. As you understood from the other examples, that can be for many years or maybe forever, but at least it will mean that they lose, I'd say, until I change my mind, maybe more than 10 times of what they have taken away from me. It's a small sum, but it's such a lousy way to deal with us. And the point is that sometimes here, when money is involved, you feel that the very lousy behavior of somehow deranged women you meet from time to time, or criminals, or can I say half criminals, pseudo criminals, that behavior when it comes to money is somehow extended to more professional areas. You get the same feeling, just the same feeling. I have given them money in advance, and now they refuse to give it back to me, and they make it very difficult, and they find excuses, and they behave just like a street prostitute, to be precise. That's how I see it, and that's why I post it. So, I have enough of this, and you should change your policy. Otherwise, we think you are either racially profiling us, or you're incapable, or you're just crooks. If you owe money to someone, you should find a way to deal with those problems much more effectively.